tastes like butter. Well, howdy friends, Brian Flechsig of Mad River Outfitters, the Midwest Fly Fishing School's Mad River Travel, and probably more. And I am sitting on a dock here with my good friend Travis Huckabe, and we are on the forgotten coast of Florida, overlooking Apalachicola. And many of you may recognize Travis. We've been fishing with Travis for a number of years now. You were probably in your 30s when we started fishing together, and I was still in my 20s.
Yeah.
At that time. But Travis has a company based out of Apalachicola here called Saltwater Solutions. Boy, Travis, you've been fishing Apalachicola and this area along the Forgotten Coast basically your entire life.
That's right. I was born and raised in Apalachicola, and then of course we're sitting on a dock at my dad's house where I didn't get raised. They moved to the water after I grew up, but yeah, it's just a beautiful place, a big area, and lots of water to play around in.
Sure is, my goodness. And it's just, I guess I understand why they call it the Forgotten Coast, but I guess I can't figure out why it's been forgotten, because I mean this is old Florida.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's still lots of woods, lots of pine woods. It's a lot of hunting and fishing and outdoor recreation. And when I was growing up, the town wasn't as cool. All those buildings downtown just were all ran down, dilapidated old cotton places, and back when the river was the main thoroughfare. Mm-hmm. So it's really morphed into just a cool little town that they keep kind of control over this area without seeing the big high rises and ruining the scenery.
Well, that's what I was going to say. It's once you get out of Tallahassee, which is where we fly into, and there's no tall buildings, there's no fast food restaurants. I mean, this is old Florida, and it's just woods, thick woods.
Yep.
And the number of I always feel at home anytime I see a bear crossing sign. I always feel like I'm at home, and who would have ever thought that I would find paradise in Florida, which I've been fishing Florida since the 1970s or early 80s. I started fishing in Florida, mostly South Florida, Miami and the Everglades. And but I've also been a huge bear guy. In fact, I'm a certified bear guy. We have a video about that.
Licensed bear etiquette guy.
But who would have thought I found paradise along the Forgotten Coast, and there's bears crawling all over this place.
There is. And you've seen evidence of that, was it yesterday morning?
Yeah, we were going fishing yesterday morning, and every trash can on the way to the launch ramp had been ransacked.
You can track them that way.
Yeah. So tell us about the fishing here in Apalachicola, the diversity, and maybe a little bit about the seasons.
So what we have here, starting in May, April, we get the pompano season kind of starts on the outside beaches and in the passes, and you start getting some cobia running outside beaches, and then your triple tails start moving in. They're here now, and they like the warmer water, so they start floating in and getting around grass patties and buoys and stuff. And then our tarpon starts in May. I particularly like May because it's quieter with boats for tarpon fishing, and then it rolls all the way to August is the main season, but they're still around September and October, just some local fish and stuff. But lots of trout and redfish. I just kind of get burnt out on the redfish. Obviously, I do that in and out for 9 months in Louisiana. So
sure.
I just like to do something different when I'm home.
Well, last year the redfishing sure saved our bacon.
It did do that.
We couldn't tarpon fish last year.
We were right back in our old mannerisms there.
Yeah. So the tarpon fishing here. So these fish, do you have resident fish or a combination?
So from what I gather, we all have, I guess, different opinions. But in May, I think a lot of these fish come out of the rivers and stuff where they've been sort of hunkered down all winter. And there's some resident fish here that start moving up and down the coast from west to east. So we call them wrong way fish. So we're looking west, fishing those fish. And then the main migration coming up from the Everglades up the west coast of Florida will start here any day now. We'll start getting a push of fish of the right way. It's kind of like we did today. We saw a little more right way action. And so so I think there's resident fish in April, May, and then we start getting the main push.
So the resident fish go the wrong way down the beach, and the migratory fish go the right way. Okay, it took me a little bit.
Yeah, I think they probably all gather up and all start going right way eventually and go towards Texas and Louisiana and all that stuff.
Right. So. Well, you know, I caught my first tarpon in 1992. And that was, we talked about this earlier. I can still see the fish eat my fly. I was fishing with my uncle's best friend, Vince Maggio, who just passed away this year. God rest his soul. That man taught me so much about saltwater fishing. So we're sure going to miss him, and I kind of loosely in my mind dedicated this trip to him. But I still remember seeing that fish turn and eat my fly, and I remember the fly. It was Flip Pallet's Prince of Tides, and I got to show you that fly. I've been catching redfish on it down in Louisiana. In fact, we're going to do a fly time video on it real soon. But ever since that moment that I saw that tarpon eat my fly, and I believe I landed that fish, I can look back and remember virtually every tarpon eat that I've ever had.
It's a unique fish that way.
Yeah, I know you do it a lot more than I do, and I'm certainly not an expert, but I am a tarpon fanatic. And I just, there's something, I even kind of get, you know, chills, you know, kind of an adrenaline rush just thinking about it. And even on, you know, on this particular trip, you know, we fished, we got to tarpon fish for 3 days. We had good weather. And I was super impressed by the number of fish that we saw. I know I have asked you before that, you know, well, how many fish do you see, how many fish you hook? And you said, well, we get hookups most every day. And I was kind of shocked by that. That's not usually the norm in other places that I've fished. But I saw it. We saw a lot of fish. And I to be honest with you, I blew a lot of shots.
Yeah, I wish I could have had some more fish that you could blue shots on. But it was a little slow for me. You know, like yesterday was probably our bigger day as far as seeing. The first day we ground out some fish, you know, throwing out some fish. And certain areas I was having to fish, the fish are more finicky. And I knew that, but that's where the fish were. So yesterday was definitely a better mixed bag on the different locations that we ran to. You know, we had more shots. And then today we had to, of course, grind out some more fishing. Yeah. And we had some weird follows, you know, follow it right to the boat, and like they do, and not just, you know, follow it for 20 feet and not eat it. You know, that's just what it gets into your. Well,
I get a kind of an adrenaline rush just thinking about it. I mean, and those couple of fish. I mean, we had several fish that follow the fly, and you're back there going crazy, and and I'm
do something.
I'm up there, and you just tense up, and the fish is following. I had one fish, maybe on the first day, on Saturday that we fished, and he came up, he was gonna eat the fly, and I'm not kidding, I made eye contact with the fish and he turned off.
That's right.
And then yesterday I had one fish eat, and then we did put a fish in the air.
Yeah.
I think we'll probably see some footage of me scrambling and freaking out. I think Dev asked me if it scared me. He's gone.
Oh, is it? Does that scare you, Brian?
No. I must have looked scared, which I probably was.
Well, it's just an emergency situation trying to clear that line.
Yeah.
And it was a tough, you know, eat right there, a blind casting type shot, you know, and the lines everywhere. And
well, you
did good clearing your line.
You're looking at these 4 or 5, 6 foot fish. I don't know. Are there 6 footers?
5 foot, what we had yesterday on there.
And you're seeing them, and then finally you hook one. He eats the fly, and all heck just breaks loose, and then he comes like this out of the water. I don't know, maybe Andy Mill or Flip Pallet or Lefty Cray, maybe they can keep their composure, but
I think they all still get pumped up. That's why they do it.
yeah,
You know,
well,
that's the cool thing about a tarpon is that I guess it's because they're so hard and unforgiving. You know, a redfish is forgiving. He's going to eat usually.
yeah.
Whereas this tarpon, you throw at him the same way every time, and then finally you find a hot fish and he eats.
Yeah.
You know, you're like, I've been doing that all day.
Yep.
And I think that's what keeps us coming back is they just wake up the world when they do eat.
Well, and it was just probably 2 hours ago, right down the road, we had a fish, came in, I didn't blow the shot. I made a good cast.
That's right.
He followed. You were back there going crazy, and oh my, everybody was tensed
Well, he
up.
followed a long way.
He followed it a long way, and we were all sure he was going to eat, and then he got right up to the boat and just turned off.
Yep.
And once again, I'll never forget seeing that fish following that fly, that black and purple fly that we put on in that little
Right.
dirtier water. And
That's right.
that's something really special. So, you know, 3 days of fishing, we didn't land a fish, but it's still a fantastic tarpon trip, especially compared to last year. We didn't
Yeah.
even get to tarpon
Yeah,
fish.
it
so
was really bad.
at least we got out on the water. We saw a bunch of fish. I got to blow a bunch of shots. I made a few good shots. We put a fish in the air. And without sounding cliche, it's just great to be here, and it's great to spend time with you, man.
Yeah, man, I have a great time with you
We
guys.
enjoy you. You are really great to Mad River Outfitters. You got me into my personal best redfish, which a lot of our viewers have seen. And then we sent Pat Kelly down here last fall.
That's right.
Pat's been working for me for about 20 years, and
Great guy.
he was what, 1 pound under mine.
Yeah, he was hoping.
By the way, Pat, nice try.
He was hoping.
Well, of course he was. And, you know, we're the closest of friends, and he's a wonderful, wonderful employee. But there's always going to be that little bit of competition. And but I was really proud. In fact, I think I called you. I got the picture from you. I think I got it from you, and then I called you immediately. And my staff can tell you, and you knew this. I started crying. I had tears in my eyes. I was so thrilled that I call him kid. He's not a kid anymore, but that you were able to on his really his first trip to Louisiana, his first redfish trip down there. So that was just really special. But it's just great to be on the boat with good friends and good company and be out here. Even though I will say this, I've said this before, but I'll say it again. Tarpon fishing is the most boring style of fly fishing that there is,
Yes.
combined with the most
I
exciting.
agree. That's right. That's definitely right.
I mean, you kept saying, hurry up and wait, hurry up and
That's
wait.
what we do.
There was so much time that we just spent just waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. And then all of a sudden they start coming. And just like you said, you follow those tides,
Very tidal fish.
Yeah. Well, I saw that. I learned a lot more about the effect on tides and the movement of those fish on this trip than I've learned on any other. So, you know, it's just great being out here. And of course, we love spending time with you, and we look forward to red fishing in the fall. And then of course, as soon as we're done filming this, we're going to book our dates for next May tarpon season. So, you know, we always like to tip our guides, as you know, Travis. And so,
What interesting thing do we have this year?
well, it's kind of
It's a Santa Claus bag.
duplication. But first of all, we've got half a bag of dry roasted Planters.
That's actually pretty good.
That's a good gift.
I mean, that's a good gift.
Yeah, that's not bad. And then we have some mushrooms.
Well, now that's a pretty good gift too.
They're South
Just as
Mill.
long as they're in date.
Oh yeah. We just got them a couple days ago. They're unopened, and
My wife's gonna appreciate them. She likes mushrooms.
they're not that kind of mushroom. And then of course, it wouldn't be a real trip without the leftover.
Oh no, I got that last year and I appreciate that, and it didn't go unused.
Well, I wouldn't imagine.
And you always get you know, it's angel salt.
No, it's there's they're the mega rolls, 320 sheets per roll, so it should, you know, last you a couple weeks.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
It's 2-ply. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
And then
Septic tank safe.
yeah, so I mean, we only use one roll, so we might as well, instead of throwing away. And then here's your.
Oh man, that's what I need.
Yeah, you asked me to.
I'm gonna try that out.
To bring you one of those.
Yeah, definitely.
I just. It's kind of hard to get fly lines right now these days, and so I just kind of grabbed that.
Yeah, we'll try it out.
Yeah, I think you'll like it. It's a good line. It shoots well. So
Yeah. That's what I mean.
you'll like it.
Cool deal.
So,
I appreciate it.
Well, all right, man. Well, of course, for those of you that are keeping score, that's not Travis's only tip. So anyhow, as always, friends, thanks for watching. You can check out Travis Huckabe at saltwatersolutions.com. And if you're ever interested in experiencing, I think, some of the best tarpon fishing going here in the Apalachicola area along the Forgotten Coast, you can give Travis a call. And if he's booked, which he mostly is booked,
We can get him a good guide.
yeah, he's got a lot of friends down here. Some of which we know,
That's right.
Cody and David, and some of those guys. Some excellent guides that work out of this area. So give Travis a call, saltwatersolutions.com. And once again, man,
Appreciate it, my man.
always a pleasure being with you, and I look forward to spending time with you real soon.
That's right.
In fact, I might make a second appearance here yet this summer if you got a 1 or 2 days.
Oh yeah, we
open.
can work it out.
Yeah. All right. So, well, thanks for watching, friends. As always, we appreciate it. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. That really helps us out. Hit that like button. That just makes us feel good, and it'll make Travis feel real good, that's for sure. And be sure to watch this video, and then Travis, tell him to watch that video.
Watch that video.
Travis is like, what am I pointing at?
Yeah.
It's there somewhere.
We promise you it's there somewhere.
Digital world.